And just make sure that stream is working. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Okay. I can hear myself on broadcast. I'm going to assume that it's working. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Scorpio Superformula Series, round 8 here at the Red Bull Ring. I'm sure those of you who have been watching our streams over the past week are totally not getting tired of seeing this venue. But regardless, we're back. We're on our home setup, or I am at least, finally. Got a mic that hopefully is working, so we'll leave stream up, and if we have any audio issues, please let me know so I can try to fix them myself. I don't have an audio engineer to sort anything out for me. As always, joined in the booth by Felix, for which... Hello, and should be a very exciting event today. What do you expect to see out of our drivers today, Felix?
Oh, close battles. It will be hard for them to manage the fuel, I think. Based on what I saw, they should be saving quite a bit of fuel, and there will be a lot of battles into turn 3 and 4. So yeah, I'm really happy to see this one. Plenty of overtaking opportunities. I think that people actually who will be really close by those in front, let's say just sitting in the slipstream, will benefit from it, and will manage to save a little bit more fuel, which will help them later in the race. So yeah, it will be they all need to play the long game.
All right. Well, folks, as we work our way through our 10-minute qualifying session, a couple of headlines to get through coming into today's race. Obviously, a couple of our drivers coming back from the... Oh, goodness, what is it called? The Southern Fried Gaming Expo in Atlanta, Georgia. Those are our pro drivers, including Payme, who was also our winner from last time out. Also won the main event at Atlanta, so congrats to him. And then Lester won't be joining us on the grid today, unfortunately. Feeling a bit under the weather, so we wish him a speedy recovery and hope to see him back on the track sooner rather than later. But regardless, still a race to get to. We do have a new face on the grid, Adaptive Inc. here, that you can see on screen, or as we're going to call him on the broadcast, Larson. Newcomer to the series, but well known on the leaderboards in Gran Turismo for the Superformula cars. So it should be very exciting to see how well he gets on in today's races. Coming up now to just about halfway through our qualifying session. Larson already, I was going to say already situated P2, has now dropped down to P4 as Super S2K and Michael both set new fastest laps. A bunch of drivers now really starting to find their rhythm. And so Larson, oh boy, we're going to have a... That won't get confusing at all during today's broadcast. We'll try our best. Little sleep deprived today, but we're gonna make do. Lester, I see you in the chat. Hello. Happy to see you. Wishing you a speedy recovery. Wish we could have seen you out on track, but wishing you the best, and can't wait to see you back out there. Currently, Nico on the pole for the time being, coming out of the pits.
Super S2K is 2/10 up on him, approaching final 2 corners. Just follow that for a second. Yeah. He could be here taking the provisional pole. he's sitting comfortably behind Paymay in the slipstream, but no.
Yeah, he got a lot of dirty air through that final two corners, I think. Obviously would have had the slipstream help from Paymay, but yeah, I think that it just being that close to the final two corners would have cost him. Teammate, though, Ryan, now up to P2, 109.9 lap for him. Only 400ths of a second off of Nico.
Yeah.
This should be a very interesting battle. Gramenos, P1, 109.7. Fantastic lap for him. Optimal laps we were hearing about through practice. Maybe a 109.5 with the right amount of slipstream, but we're not expecting much faster than that. Gramenos could be in a great spot here to steal his first pole position of the year. We'll ride on board with Nico as he sets off on his first flying lap of this run. Coming up now to turn 3, 2.5 tenths up. Really good start to the lap here. Charging his way down to turn 4. Taking a wide entry, very late turn in, but it carries a lot of momentum. Oh, but he's got wheels off in the grass. He's going to lose a chunk of time there. This lap's over for him. Very interesting rejoin there, right in front of Ivan. Where is he going?
Oh.
I think he's just lagged out.
Yeah.
That is highly unfortunate. Championship protagonist was made very significant gains on Super S2K, our championship leader, last time out. The only one of the top 3 in the championship to finish on the podium. Now going to have a lot of work to do coming from the back after that disconnect. Was that 107 a fever tempt? I see in the chat. That's okay. If you were running a 107 fever, yeah, go get checked out. Really hoping you're feeling better after that. Not fun. Gramenos on an outlap. Ryan is currently on a flyer coming through the final corner. Let's see what he might be able to pull out of the hat here.
He had a purple sector.
No, he lost a little bit of time. Gramenos back into the pits. He will reset for one more flyer. Ryan still on it, though.
Super improves. P8 for him.
Super does improve.
Last week winner. Only P9 at the moment.
Only P9, but I believe he's up on this lap.
He's by 2 tenths.
Ooh, big snapper oversteer through the penultimate corner, though. As long as he can keep it clean, he might still be in with a good time. 10-4 jumps him up to 7th. And that will do it for his qualifying. Who's out on a lap right now?
Gramenos. No, he's in an out lap. He won't make it until the... Yeah,
Gramenos isn't going to make it back to the pits. Super S2K steals pole position in the dying moments for the time being. 109.6. Very fast lap to jump him up the timing sheets. Ryan will settle for 3rd as time has expired. Larson is still on a flying lap here, so he might be able to get one more in. Sanchez coming through the final couple of corners. Can he improve from P5? No, he's very wide. That's going to be time penalty. Yep, there it is. So 109.9, but it's invalidated. So we'll jump back up to...
Still on the fast lap as well.
So Super S2K and Larson both still on laps for the moment. See if they can make it through. Larson flirting with the track limits out of the final corner, makes it to the line. No, it was invalidated. So he will not improve. He will start P4, though, for his first start.
Yeah.
All right.
1095 for Super S2K. He did improve slightly on the final lap, 39 tenths of the second, yeah.
A very impressive lap. So Super S2K will once again grab pole position, and by 2/10. Very, very strong statement in qualifying here, though, of course, you have to wonder how close Nico could have gotten had he not disconnected. We will try to hold off and wait so that we can get Nico back into the session. But for the time being, we'll take a look at the qualifying grid. Super S2K pole position, 109.569, very nice lap. Gravados, incredible qualifying for him. Jumps himself up to P2, 109.789, just over 2/10 back from pole, but still a front row start. Could be very interesting for him. Ryan in the other AMS car qualifies third at a 109.918. Once again, a very solid lap. Larson will slot himself into P4 at a 109, as the last driver in the 109s. And then Sanchez will round out our top five at a 110.091. So very strong qualifying for all of those drivers. Michael as well, actually. We've not seen him qualify up front very much. Very good lap for him at a 110.112. Ivan slots himself into P7, position he seems to be very familiar with over the course of the season. He's been very consistently hanging around that P7, P8 range on the grid. As it looks like we are going to restart the lobby to try to see if we can get Nico back in. Will it still give me result? No, it's not going to give me results, unfortunately. And we are going to need to restart the lobby. All right, so brief intermission, folks, while we get a few technical gremlins sorted. I'm just glad for once it's not the stream's perspective. So sit tight, folks, and we will be back with you running in just a few moments. I don't have because I'm streaming from PlayStation, I don't have the special transition commercial whatnots that Atlanta had, but just pretend we're running commercial break, and we will be right back. All right, and welcome back, folks. Just waiting on a few more drivers to finish loading in and for the grid to be sorted and lobby settings to be reset. But after that, we will be just moments away from getting ready to go here for round 8. I believe, actually... no, sorry, apologies. Not quite the halfway point of our season. That'll be next round coming up. I'll take a brief look at my calendar to see what event that will be. And it is, in fact, Brands Hatch will be next. That'll be running on July 12th. Excuse me. And it looks like we're still having issues where Nico can't join for whatever reason. Strange.
Yeah, usually a driver having an issues, a little bit of issues, should join first, and then everyone else. It seems that he's just maybe not compatible with somebody inside the lobby. It's not fun. It happens in Gran Turismo, and it is what it is. Yeah, Super S2K is asking me now that.
Yeah. Well, I suppose while we wait, we'll take a brief moment to reflect upon the season so far, as we do approach the halfway point of the season. Like I said, still not quite there yet, but once we start the next round, we will be halfway through this 17-round championship. And it has been a very interesting one from the get-go. Obviously, we had an absolute barn burner out at Bathurst, which saw Ryan take home the win, escaping the Turn 2 carnage, climbing the hill on lap 1. Then, of course, we made our way over to Suzuka, where a tale of two races took place. At first, it was domination by Super S2K, and then a couple series of mistakes saw Nico take over the lead from there and never look back. And so what was a 20-second lead for Super S2K ended up becoming a 20-second lead for Nico by the end of it. And we will reset the lobby once again. But after that, it was then over to the Daytona road course, where we had an enthralling three-way battle for most of the race until seemed a freak suspension mishap with Ryan's car meant he got sent wide going into turn 1, and then it became a two-way dogfight between Super S2K and Nico Arigata. No worries, Super S2K, we appreciate you doing your best to set this up. After that, it was over to the Nürburgring GP circuit, where Super S2K bounced back to take home a decisive victory over the field, and one which saw many drivers caught out by a brief but strong, steady shower. And then drying conditions would also mean would also catch out championship leader at the time, Nico, as he would plunder down the order, eventually recovering back to 6th, though. Then it was off to Road Atlanta, where Super S2K would lead again, but it would be a battle between his teammate Ryan and Nico once again for the final 2 spots on the podium. After that, it was over to Barcelona, where tire strategy was the name of the game, and who could make what strategy work best for them. And once again, it was Super S2K taking home the victory with a late race overtake on Nico, who was trying to pull off, I believe, one less pit stop than the AMS drivers, and ultimately just ran out of tire. Was still able to bring it home on the podium, but was unable to hold off the hard-charging championship leader. And then that brings us to last week, where we had a few newcomers and a brand new winner, as Payme surprised the field with his wet weather driving skills and never looked back, taking home a decisive victory and the first for Scorpio eSports in the series. And now we come to today, round 8, here at the Red Bull Ring, where we shall see if Payme, starting from 8th, can work his way up the grid, repeat his prowess from last time out at Le Mans, or if Super S2K can continue his dominance, or perhaps can Nico Arigata find his way back to victory lane, or will we see the newcomer Larson surprise the field, take everyone by storm? Starting grid has been set, lobby settings have been fixed, all drivers are present, I believe. No, we are missing Quackadilly for some reason, but we will be getting underway as the drivers await the lights. Hopefully, we avoid any of the incredible carnage that we saw in the Formula 2 race earlier today, as the 5 lights come on for the round here at the Red Bull Ring. It's lights out, and we are underway, and it is a fantastic start for both the AMS drivers. Larson looked to make it 3 wide for a brief moment, but got squeezed out by Gramenos. He'll have to recover and settle back into 4th behind the Greek driver. As Sanchez and Payme now, great start for Payme, up to 6th, as they are 3 and 4 wide further back. All drivers making their way up through the hairpin. A lot of these guys have to be careful about track limits. A bunch of them running wide out over the exit curb. Shouldn't be any time penalties being picked up on this opening lap. It doesn't look like it. One driver off and wide. That is Michael, who will go for a spin. An unfortunate start to him. He qualified 6th. Just did not get off the line well at all. Nico already recovering up to 9th and now into 8th. Can I turn the game volume up? I will try to. Give me a second. I apologize.
Party settings, yeah. While you're on it, I was following Nico since the start. We see here Sanchez, Payme, and Philo battling it out for P5. Nico using it all to get to P6, overtook 2 drivers in 1 corner. He's now on the outside of Philo. One good thing for Nico is he's on the softs. Now he was kicked by somebody there, could be Payme. And Nico is in P5. A great start by him. Actually there, Michael didn't really have luck into turn 4. He missed the braking point, and then it was 3 wide, and Nico was in the middle of it, so not much he could do. But then it sent Michael into a little bit of problems, and now he's at the last P12.
And unfortunately, it looks like we have lost Quackadilly, unfortunately. Apparently couldn't find the lobby, is what I'm reading. So hopefully he'll be given some sort of credit from starting early. But
yeah. Bad luck.
As Paymay picks up a half-second time penalty. Track
Michael,
limits a little bit too wide through turn 7. Ivan has also picked up a second, as that is a driver into the pits. I thought that was. Yes,
yeah,
Sanchez in immediately. Front wing damage. He'll come in and get that fixed. Front wing, I don't believe, has any additional time penalties for fixing.
Correct.
It is suspension and rear wing that have their own, what's it called? That have an additional time penalty that our series enforces. Let's take a look at Larson here. Fastest lap of the race so far, as we work lap 3, and already starting to attack Ryan here for P2. And don't look now, here comes Nico looking on Gramenos for P4.
Nico and Larson are on sides, so they're on the opposite strategy, and it's interesting to see now. Can Ryan defend from Larson?
Oh, and Nico picks up a penalty, though. Nico has picked up a half-second time penalty, likely coming through turn 8, that is where he picked that up. As we will watch Larson now trying to set up a move on Ryan, using a little bit of the overtake now. Of course, it is legal to use now that we are off of lap 1. Gonna look to the outside here. Another purple sector for him as he sets up the attack. Crosses him over. A brilliant switchback maneuver. I think Ryan just got onto the brakes a little too late. Yeah, I think he overshot the corner. An uncharacteristic mistake out of the AMS driver. Larson's up to P2. Great start for him. As further back, Nico with a bit of a slide coming through turn 6. And again through turn 7. Not really making the apexes at the moment. He will now serve his half-second time penalty.
Paymay now just waited for Scorpio Ivan just ahead of turn 4. Could be that he caused an incident and then decided to just be a good fellow. So Scorpio Ivan P10, Paymay P11.
Not seeing any damage on their two cars, so if there was an incident, unfortunately we didn't catch it, and there's no evidence of it happening at the moment. I'm curious to see if Larson can start making headway on Super S2K. He's set another fastest lap.
Yeah, he
almost a second quicker.
As well, one thing that I noticed in the last lap, it was a touch between Gramenos and Arigada. Arigada went or tried to overtake Gramenos into turn 1, but there was a lot of lag, a lot of issues, and there was a touch, there was a contact, but he let Gramenos go then.
Nico looked like picked up yet another half-second time penalty for his troubles.
Gramenos fishtailed out of the last corner, and he lost about 4/10 only in that one corner now.
Philo now also with a half-second time penalty as well, as we continue to look down through the field. Everyone's slowly spreading out a little bit here as we begin lap 6 of 69. Supa now up running in P7. Michael running in P8. Roach with a 1 second time penalty. He's picked up a couple of them. Running in 9th.
Larson just made an interesting mistake into turn 3. He just braked a little bit too late and lost immediately 2/10 compared to AMS Super S2K. And if you want to beat him, you shouldn't be making those mistakes. Definitely could have been closer in this lap. if he nailed it all. But he did have still a good lap, 1:11.7. If he didn't make that mistake, it would be 1:11.5.
Looking a little further back, this battle for P4, Nico once again closing in on the back of Gramenos. A big snap again through turn one. He's just not liking that corner by the looks of things, whether it be dirty air or just the car setup. Picks up yet another half-second time penalty.
Yeah.
And, you know, he might be able to get around Gramenos here. Big wiggle of oversteer as he tries to apply the power. You know, he might get around Gramenos here, but that time penalty, he might just get set back behind him again once he serves it.
Yeah, bad luck for Nico. He seems to get a penalty every lap.
Yeah. Looking around the outside here into turn 6. Can he make it happen? Gramenos with the slide. I don't know if there was potentially contact.
No,
but Gramenos will get through.
Slide, yeah.
Gramenos, oh goodness gracious, Nico gets through, but obviously has to serve that penalty, and like I said, it drops him right back behind, and now he's got all that work to do again. Perhaps a little over-aggressive on the driving. Yes, all of these drivers are running their own custom setups. Whether or not they decide to share setup information with others on the grid is entirely up to them. Nico now looking to make the move on Gramenos once again, going to be on the outside for turn 3. He's going to have him cleared before the braking zone with a little help of the overtake button. And now he will set his sights on Ryan up ahead on the road. There's a history between these two in terms of their on-track battling. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that, because that could be a very spicy battle indeed. Looks like that gap between first and second slowly starting to stabilize now. Super S2K starting to get into a rhythm on those mediums. And the softs of Larson's car starting to fading a little bit. As we look further back, Nico currently closing in. He will start this lap 2.3 or so behind Ryan. So we'll keep an eye on that for the next time through. Another huge snap of oversteer through turn 1. That car really not happy over the curbs. Late braking up into turn 3, gets a clean exit out of the corner. Not really closing in on Ryan yet, though. Not really, Sector 1 especially, not really a place for where he can realistically gain a lot of time despite the tire advantage, especially if he keeps sliding the tires through turn 1, and that's very wide on the exit of turn 6. He'll be very lucky if he gets away with that without a penalty. And I think he does, finally. Ivan, unfortunately, has just had disconnect. Nico again wide through the final corner. He was all 4 tires off the red and white curb, and he will get yet another half-second time penalty. This is really starting to cost him now. He's 7.5 seconds off the lead. With the number of penalties he's picked up, he could be, theoretically, he could be on the leader right now if he hadn't picked up all these penalties.
Yeah, really unfortunate for him. Meanwhile, for P1, AMS Super S2K and Larson are matching the pace of each other in the last couple of laps, and I think in this one AMS Super S2K will manage to get away slightly, maybe a tenth or two compared to Larson.
Yeah, Larson now
they had the same pace.
Only 0.02 of a second faster on that previous lap. Whether it's tires or possibly dirty air now that he's starting to feel off the back of that AMS machine, just not really able to make up any ground for the moment.
And a completely different line through turn 1, and it seems to me that Larson is, with that wide line, having much better speed inside the corner, like throughout the corner, but on the straights, AMS Super S2K is managing to pull away.
So perhaps a difference in downforce levels between the two cars then.
Definitely, yeah.
Nico is. I've been watching him these last couple times through turn 1. It doesn't really seem to matter what line he takes. It's either the back end of the car is squirming as he hits the apex curb, or he just, because he either takes the corner wider to miss it, but then he gets thrown up onto the sausage curb on exit, and that also really hinders his any sort of momentum he wants to carry out of the corner. Really not having a fun time at turn 1. And with so few corners on this track, there's just not that many opportunities to truly gain lap time back on your competitors. Really important to make every corner matter. And again, he's just bouncing off that apex curb.
Seems that the car is really low, or there's something with the dampers, because the car is really unsettled, while when we take a look at Larson or Super S2K, the car is really calm. It's nice to drive, like you have confidence through the corners. Nico is not having that, so it will be a long race and lots of struggle from him.
Larson continuing to hold at about 1.5, 1.6 behind Super S2K for the moment. Still a very impressive showing for his first outing here in the series. Of course, like we said in the broadcast, or at the beginning of the broadcast, Larson exclusively races superformula on GT7. So very impressive to see the pace he's demonstrating, as he actually gained quite a bit of time through the final sector on this lap. Was 1.5, now only 1.2 back. Closing in, those tires still managing to work for him, even in their worn-out state.
He was watching maybe a new F1 movie, and Mr. Sonny Hayes saying we have to get them in the corners, so he set up the car for the corners. He's gaining quite a lot compared to Super S2K in the corners, so definitely a difference in the setup, but it's interesting to see, as you said, a new driver challenging the leader, staying within 1.5 seconds. Really nice to see.
Absolutely. Looks like Super S2K gains a little bit of time back going through turn 4, that is, the downhill right-hander leading into this middle part of the lap. But it's these final two corners here where Larson, at least on the previous lap, made up a lot of time. Not quite as much on this occasion, but still gained a little bit of time back as well through turn 1 there. And he will carry that momentum up the hill and now through turn 2 and up to turn 3. Lay it on the brakes, jamming it down into first gear. Quick shift up to second for the exit. Now powering down, trying to get himself into the slipstream of Super S2K in front. Of course, still does have that tire advantage for now. So it'll be interesting to see what their pace ends up being when the roles are reversed and these drivers are on the opposite tire compounds. Ryan, further back, meanwhile, running in a very solid P3, just currently out on his own. Nico has continued to fall back a little bit. He looks like he's thrashing his tires a little more than Larson has been. Just unable to make up much ground on not Super S2K, Ryan for the time being. Gramanos, still a very good run for him for the time being, running P5. I believe that would be his best result of the season so far, if he can hang on to this for the next 3 quarters or so of the race. Philo, picked up a time penalty, but still in a fairly decent spot, running P6. Supa running P7. Decent showing for him. Michael, having now recovered back up to P8. Payme running 9th. Sanchez is in 10th. And Roach rounds out our remaining grid in P11. I've also just realized I failed to mention Ivan's Niki Lauda tribute livery before he disconnected, so that's unfortunate. It was a very beautiful livery, very touching tribute. Wish I could have caught it on the broadcast for you. I do apologize, Ivan. I understand that obviously this was Niki Lauda's home venue. Perhaps maybe at some point later in the season you might bring it back out again. Because definitely hope to see it later on in the season. Back up front, still about 1.7 the gap for the lead. Super S2K ever so slightly starting to edge back ahead now. Those soft tires probably starting to get ready to fall off the cliff here, as we now work lap 16. Nico still running P4, having dropped 2/10 to Ryan on that previous lap. So I think at this point, if you've started on the soft compound tire for this race, at this point now you'll be thinking about when you're going to switch off of those tires, because they're not going to last very much longer, at very least in a remotely competitive setting.
Going very, very wide into the final corner, and now picking up another half a second.
Nico, it's just unfortunately costing himself once again. We've seen time and time again he has the pace to go and compete with the front runners. It's just unfortunate mistakes like that seem to cost him track position and lap time. And I'm sure once the season, obviously we still have half the season to run, but when he looks back, if he ends up missing out on the championship by only a couple of points, he'll look back on all the penalties, or on all the time penalties he accumulated for track limits, and think, man, if I just cut back on a few of those, maybe I could have won this thing. But like I said, still a long way to go. He's certainly not out of it. P2 in the standings for now, and still strong a pace as ever. So it'll be very exciting to watch him and the rest of the grid for the remainder of the season. Doesn't look like there's too much action happening out on track for the time being. We'll see if we can jump back. Battle for 9th. Payme over Sanchez, Sanchez running faster laps for the time being. So looks like he's slowly closing the gap, looking for P9. Just over a second back now as they climb the hill up to turn 3. Sanchez actually keeping it in second gear, actually shifting up to third. So very interesting, running a very different gear ratio to the leaders. Oh, yes, I apologize, folks at home. I failed to mention the mandatory tire usage. All drivers required to run at least one set of the soft and one set of the medium compound tires. The hard tire is available to use as well, but does not count toward the requirement. So certainly something to keep in mind as One would think we are starting to close in on pit strategy opening for our soft tire runners. As Roach has disconnected and we are down to 10. High attrition rate race today, it seems. Started with 14, started with 14, down to 10 through one reason or another.
Yeah, really unlucky.
So, closest battle on track for the time being, I do believe, is still Sanchez versus Payme. Although Payme now beginning to re-extend that gap on the previous lap. We will see if we can check on the battle for fourth, potentially, as it looks like Gramados now closing in on Nico. Did Nico just... Nico is spun! Nico is spun around. He's picked up front wing damage. Oh, he's got to be very careful about his rejoin. Waits for the traffic to go by and will now stay over to... or will now run the middle of the track. I was going to say, I saw it on the mini-map. I have the camera on Nico's car. Hopefully we'll be able to pick up a replay, maybe? No, I caught it too late. I apologize. I completely forgot I have replays again. I didn't have a keyboard in Atlanta.
Can you, which button did you press for the replay?
No, I knew what button it was. I just did it way too late. So operator issue.
Should be giving you at least 15 seconds.
Yeah, no, I pressed it after he was back on his way again. So that's on me. But Nico will now probably need to come into the pits this time to fix that front wing. Definitely going to be earlier than he wanted on the softs, and he might have just picked up a penalty for a pit entrance violation. I think he might have been a little too wide through that corner. We'll have to keep an eye on that. So that's now put Gramados back up to P4. Philo now running in the top 5. Great result for him. You know, we were talking about just how much Nico's car was really not liking that exit curb at turn 1, or any of the curbs in turn 1.
Yeah. And
it has come out to bite him harshly, should be said. Fortunately for him, didn't pick up that pit entrance violation penalty. So, evidently, I don't know what the limits are for that corner, or for the pit entrance, but either way, still a legal pit entry, and he will be able to continue on his way, but nearly a minute behind the lead, and 20 seconds back from Sanchez, running now in P9, as Payme is actually now closing in on Michael for P7.
it could be that the pit, that his entry was okay, but we just saw the lag. As well, I was just hoping that we will have a three-way battle for P2 between Larson, Chang, and Nico. But as Nico made a mistake, unfortunately, it will not happen. They were on opposite strategies, so I was hoping it can be really interesting towards the end of the race. Unfortunately for Nico, he will need to fight his composure now and just start putting some laps in.
Absolutely. Payme looks like he's just about holding station for the time being in P8. So we will give a little update on... Oh, it's actually... Hang on, that's Roach has just gone for a spin. Or was it... No, that was Michael. Hopefully, I actually got it this time, and yes. So we will ride on board. Take a look. Coming through turn 6, just gets out on the curb, snaps it. over the bump. Oh my goodness, what a vicious accident. And that's going to be a long wait for repairs. That's front wing,
90 seconds.
front wing, front suspension, and rear wing. That might be a 2-minute repair. A hellacious accident. Coming out of turn 6. Michael fortunately able to limp it back to the pit lane. But that will be a long wait for him to get back out on track. A minute 30. Thank you, Ivan, for the clarification. Yeah. As Larson into the pits. First proper pit strategy pit stop. Not for damage. So 24 laps he was able to do on the soft compound tire, so we'll keep that in mind for later in the race, as he will exit the pits out onto the mediums. Now, are we potentially looking at a 2-stop, going soft, medium, soft?
Oh, good question. Could be.
As Larson up the inside of Philo. Philo not going to fight him too hard on that. No, he's going to try the crossover on the exit. They're going to be side-by-side. Drag race now down into turn 4. Larson's going to be on the outside lane. He should be able to carry the momentum. And he's going to be able to use the overtake and just sail it around the outside of Philo. Larson now up into P4. Very important overtake for him to not get held up in traffic on this outlap. So, good showing from him as he gets ready to try to get set and hunt down Super S2K. Fresh tires, no, we have not had many drivers pit just yet. Larson here, first one to actually pit off of pit strategy. Anyone else who has made a pit stop has done so for damage at this point in time. Everyone else started on the medium compound tire and will be looking to run a little longer into this race. Up front, it is Super S2K with a 7.5-ish second lead over teammate Ryan. Both of those drivers running on the medium. I would expect them to run to probably about lap 35, and then maybe they do 2 soft tire stints to the end, assuming that they are going to use 2 sets of softs instead of 2 mediums and a soft.
Yeah, 2 mediums and a soft. I don't think somebody will use it. It's more realistic what you said, 2 softs and a medium. Or maybe there will be somebody that will try to go for a 1-stop. I don't know, the pit stop is not too long. Maybe it's better and safer to go on a 2-stopper and just have fresh tires.
Could be very interesting, but if a 1-stop is on the cards, these mediums will have to go quite a long ways. If 24 laps is the count that we are expecting the soft tires to be able to run, maybe 26, 27 on lighter fuel for the guys who started on mediums. They would have to take those medium tires to, what is that, lap 50, about lap 46 or so another 20 laps from now.
At least 40, yeah. When they are lighter, they will be able to, like, those soft tires will hold on a little bit longer, but not too long. And yeah, as you said, at least 40, ideally 46.
Oh, Gramenos! I don't know if that was lag or just a big slide, but he was very wide. No, that was legit.
Slide, yeah.
We have lost yet another driver. We are down to 9.
Michael.
We lost Michael. Well, he was in the pits, so unfortunate day for him. Gets worse. And to address the message I did see in chat, yes, cloud cover is rolling in. Weather settings for this event partly cloudy to start, and then I believe it was set to random weather for the remaining 2/3 or so of this event. Can't say for certain if we're going to see any wet weather coming. Unfortunately, I don't have access to a radar, an in-game radar. Just scrolling through the drivers, seeing if they have it up on their in-game information. Doesn't look like it. I don't even know if the game will show it to me. But yes, rain is a potential to happen here. So we will absolutely keep an eye out on that. Once again, your wet weather indicator for any of you new to the game. It is the 3-sectioned bar over by the in between the race timer and the tire wear indicator. That is your moisture on track indicator, I guess we'll call it. I don't know the official name for it, but that's what I'm going to call it. Also gives a fairly easy indication as to what sort of tire these drivers will need to be on. If the bar remains within that first bottom third, you can still hang on to your slick tires. Oh, Lester, you can check the radar in lobby. Perfect. That would be greatly appreciated if you could do that, Lester.
I checked, so I don't see any rain yet within the radius of 200 kilometers, so we'll see. In about 5 minutes will something change. Gramenis just had 1 second penalty, then he had an excursion off the track in the penultimate corner, another half a second for him.
Oh, adaptive. Larson with a second time penalty, but he has been catching Gramenis at a rate of knots. Oh, I can, sorry. For the sake of not cutting away the cameras just to look at a radar, I'm not going to risk that because that might also screw up all of the lap time tracking. So, fortunately, Felix here, as you would have heard, just took a look.
Occasionally,
yeah. So Felix will be able to give you updates on that occasionally. Looks like skies are starting to clear up a little bit in game.
Paymay's boxing.
Yep, I did notice that. Paymay is into the pits, off the set of mediums and onto the softs. So only about 30 laps on that set of mediums. And he's picked up a 4-second time penalty. What on earth?
Yeah. Combo. Yeah, Paymay is definitely
big penalty for Paymay. That's gonna hurt. Nico's still running about a minute off the lead. Actually, was 56 off the lead. Now that gap's been extended by an additional 2 seconds. Track limits plus pit lane. Yep.
I don't know, is Nico just cruising or because he just does not have the pace. 114.8 is definitely way off.
Yeah.
What
it might be the strategy he needs to take at this point to make his tires last to get back on strategy with the leaders. You know, it'll cost him a lot of lap time, but in order to make that one less pit stop, it might be something that he needs to do. Yeah. We will stay on board with Larson here as he continues to hunt down Gramenis for P3.
Yeah, Paymay is exactly a lap down. He's just behind Supers 2K. He will unlap himself, he's faster. Or should be on softs.
Now, we are seeing a lot of sparks flying up from the bottom of these cars. You just saw Gramenis down the main straight. Fortunately, I don't think GT7 has modeled in grass fires like we've been seeing in real-life Formula 1 qualifying.
Too bad.
It would be very interesting. Larson with another half-second time penalty. picked up, so that'll once again cost the driver trying to overtake Gramenos on circuit. Might be best for him to just sit in line behind Gramenos for the time being and then set himself up.
Pits.
Super S2K, yes, he is into the pits off the medium, so 30 laps for the medium then.
Yeah, two-stopper.
So a definite two-stop. The question is, does he go to another set of mediums, or does he think that he can go 2 sets of softs to the end? We will see in a moment. He comes out of the pits onto a set of softs.
Paymay just had a spin in turn 1. There was a brief yellow flag, and he's 4 seconds off pace at the moment.
Can we catch it? No, unfortunately. Unfortunately, we were unable to catch the spin. Ryan now has a 10.5 second lead over teammate Super S2K, but of course, Super S2K yet to pit as around the outside. Can Larson make the move happen? He's on the overtake button. He'll have the preferred inside lane coming into turn 6. No, Gramenos will send it round the outside. What a defense by Gramenos here. Holding on to P3 for now. Obviously still a pit stop to make. Larson got to be careful with track limits though. Faked a move to the inside. Will slot back in line. Probably just going to be best to wait for the next big overtaking opportunity. I don't think it'll be down into turn 1. Probably going to need to wait for turn 3 here. They can see Super S2K up the road. This is really holding up Larson if he wants to challenge for the win. Little bit of a squirm on exit. He's used a lot of that overtake button though. And we're not even halfway through this race.
It's impressive that Gramenos is able to hold on as he's on worn tires.
Larson now looking to the outside. Can he make the move stick this time? No, he's going to try the crossover. Gramenos parks the bus on the apex, not quite able to make it stick just yet. Larson's going to send it around the outside, and he will now assume the 3rd place position and will set off after the AMS drivers. 6 seconds now behind Super S2K, who's barely used any of his overtake. He's got over 0.25% more still left in that tank. I'll take a look once Ryan picks up a half-second penalty coming out of turn 1. Still yet to make his pit stop. But using a decent amount of overtake on this lap, so I would assume he'll be coming in this time. So 35 laps on the medium for him. Could be interesting to see how that plays out. Larson leading Gramenos now by 1.5 seconds. Actually, we have a battle between Sanchez and Supa coming out of turn 3. Sanchez will get the move done. Both of these drivers still on the same pit strategy. Both still yet to make a pit stop. As this continues on, I'm becoming a little increasingly worried about how early Super S2K made that first pit stop of his off the medium. Gramenos now into the pits. Third driver to make his pit off the mediums. But we will jump back. Supa now into the pits as well. Sanchez through to P5 now, but still yet to pit. Gramenos will exit out onto the softs. Supa, pit strategy saying for you?
Sanchez is really close to Phillip, and he has more fuel, so he'll be able to be a bit faster later in the race, and he's lapping faster at the moment. So Phillip is doing 1:14s while Sanchez is doing 1:12, 1:13. So there will be another battle for P4.
It'll be also curious to see or to hear about what their setup information might be, because Sanchez not using that right front tire quite as much as Philo, so he'll have a slight pace advantage off of that. As it looked like Philo might be coming into the pits this time, and he is.
Boxing, yeah.
So a bunch of drivers now making their pit stops off the medium compound tire. And like I said, round about 34, 35 laps. A little closer to what we were expecting these tires to go. So there is... now, I believe we are now halfway through this race. So...
We are, yeah.
All these drivers pitting out onto the softs. I doubt they're going to be able to go to the end, but they can now push flat out on these tires until they have to make their next stop. And the only thing realistically holding them back will be how much fuel they can burn.
Chunk could be for...
As we're going to have a battle for the lead here. Teammate on teammate here, as Super S2K has caught Ryan coming up to turn 3. We'll see if they decide to battle it out or if Ryan's just going to let him through. Not on this occasion just yet. Much older medium tires versus Super S2K's softs. I would expect this to be a fairly easy overtaking maneuver down into turn 4. They're in a drag race down into the corner, but Super S2K just has the overspeed, has the ability to brake that much later, and will sail it down the inside and up into P1 once again. Larson, 7.5 back from Ryan. Halfway through this race, but actually no, if everyone's doing a 2-stop with 1 set of mediums and 2 sets of softs, the gap that they have for the moment would be the gap that is it for the rest of the race. I'm curious, is Ryan attempting a 1-stop?
Ryan could be the only one, yeah.
Ryan might be attempting a 1-stop at this point, because 2 sets of softs will easily go the distance from here to the end.
Yeah, and it doesn't make sense then to lose time on mediums. So
especially mediums that are this old. So
yeah.
Unless he's planning on making one less pit stop, then both his teammate and realistically the rest of the field.
Yeah, he lost 3 seconds in 1 full lap.
Yeah.
So turn 4 to turn 4 again.
Losing a chunk of change here each lap. I don't think this 1-stop's realistically going to work out for him. There's just not enough longevity in the tires to make or to overcome the just pitting for an additional set of tires and running a bit harder. Looks like he's just going to try it, though. Could be interesting to see where that places him.
Yeah. So it will be most likely Adaptive Inc. or Larson is going to pit once more on the softs, and then pit stop is about 10 seconds or maybe a bit more than that. Chang as well, 10 seconds. So it means that Larson is going to get out about 5, 6, 7 seconds behind Chang, but will have an advantage on fresher tires.
Well,
Now,
if Chung is looking to do a one-stop, this realistically is the gap that Larson has to chase.
true. Yeah.
So if he can get up to the back bumper of Ryan before either of them make the pit stop, they will be dead even once they do eventually make the pit. And then, of course, obviously we're expecting Ryan to be the first of the two into the pits. I don't...
He's about a second lap faster than Ryan at the moment.
Yeah. Gotta go to lap 44-45 to make it work. Yep, that would check out. For how long the softs were able to last from what we saw out of Larson at the beginning of the race. So with that in mind, Ryan's only got to go 5 or 6 more laps here to be able to make it to the end on a single set of softs.
It's still going to be a huge challenge running these softs.
Absolutely.
30 laps.
No,
yeah, 20.
no, it'll be 25
laps.
if he can go another
Yeah,
5 laps from
4
now.
laps, yeah.
Yeah, so right on pace.
Doable.
I'm being told I believe this is Michael. He says during his test, soft tires popped on lap 23, but he wasn't trying to tire save. So that is hard, flat-out pushing they gave out after 23 laps. Obviously, with the amount of fuel saving that all these drivers will likely need to do, that shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, Larson pitted as well on lap 23.
Was it 20? I thought he pitted end of 24.
No, it was 23, end of 23, but then when you go to the pits, it's immediately 24, so yeah.
I see, okay. So, 23 laps, flat out pushing.
They can easily do 25 empty.
Oh, absolutely. Not on full tanks. That they should definitely be able to do 25 laps then.
Yeah.
But if you say it is a 10-second time loss by taking a pit stop, Super S2K now has a pit stop in hand. I would imagine it's probably a little more than that.
Could be a little more. He definitely has a free pit stop.
That gap, though, is rapidly dropping between these two on fighting for the 2 bottom steps of the podium. Larson closing in at a rate of knots, 12.4 that previous lap to a 13.7. Lester is telling me it's about 20 seconds for a pit stop.
20 seconds, okay, sorry.
So about half a pit stop gap for Super S2K now over the rest of the field.
Now a question. Can Larson go until the end on mediums?
Oh, I hadn't thought about that.
This was very Dwight moment from The Office, a question, and then, but it is possible.
Well, Super S2K, or not Super S2K, Ryan will be needing to go 25 laps on his softs. Larson only went 23, so he will need to do those extra 2 laps on his mediums, which he's been, let's be real, not exactly saving at this point in time, so maybe he can do... I'm not entirely sure. I mean, at this point, he's 7/10. He's basically on the back bumper of Ryan. I don't think he considers Ryan his race at this point, because both of them are still going to need to pit once, but Larson, as we've pointed out, multiple times now, has so much fresher tires compared to Ryan that... Did I say Ryan twice? Larson has much fresher tires compared to Ryan, so he should just be able to blow by him here in the next heavy braking zone. Oh, no. Ryan is into the pits. Lap 43.
26 laps on softs. Let's see.
Might be pushing it. Definitely will need to save. But maybe doable.
But as well, Larson pitted lap 23. He went out on lap 24, and these tires are 20 laps old, and he's burned around 30%, 35% of tires, front left at least. So maybe there's
I'd argue that might be closer to 40, but
yeah, could be as well. Less than 50 anyways.
Yes.
So could be that he can make it work as a one-stopper.
It will be very close for him to be able to do it. Philo into the pits again. Pepe's picked up. Pepe has 3 seconds of penalties. What on earth is happening to him?
Yeah, he was just in the pit, so definitely.
Philo's got rear wing damage.
I just wanted to say, Graminus P3, 18 seconds behind Larson. As well, Chunk just exited behind Graminus. They're both on softs, opposite strategies, but Chunk now has a challenge. He needs to overtake Graminus.
Well, if he's trying to the one stop, he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Because he will come out with about an 18-second, or probably a 17.5-second gap over Graminus, if Graminus were to pit right now. Which I don't really know why he would. Graminus at some point will need to pit again. Those softs just aren't lasting another 25 laps. But see, that's the interesting thing with this one stop is it's such a stretch to be able to do it. And you have to lose so much time in order to be able to make the tires last. Ryan isn't exactly going slow at the moment either. I'm actually curious. Nico's tires, would you say those are about 50% worn?
Yeah, 45.
They are exactly the same wear rate as Larson's, despite Larson's being much newer, or having put them on at a much more recent time.
When
I don't...
Nico pit 22, 23, 20, something like that.
Nico certainly pitted before Larson because of his spin and his damage.
Yeah.
Larson, though, isn't really tire saving, so I don't think he's on a one-stop. I think he's gonna go flat out here, and then he'll strap on a set of softs with maybe 20 to go. I think most of these drivers, as Gramados picks up another time penalty, he's up to 1 second. I think most of these drivers will be, who are attempting the two-stop, are really only using the medium as like a get-to point, where they know they can run the soft compound tires for 23 laps apiece. So, I mean, that's 46 laps worth of tire, which would then mean all they have to do is run the medium for 23 laps as well. It's like even stints of 23, I believe. Or am I incorrect?
Yeah, possible.
My math might not be mathing right now. Regardless, Super S2K now holds a 16.5 second lead over Larson, who holds an 18 second lead over Ryan, who has now gotten past Gramenos, who has just picked up a half-second penalty.
Yeah.
Safer to do 30 laps on medium, I'm being told. So then Super S2K, because he pit before lap 30 off of his mediums. So is he...
Yeah,
so if he's looking to do a two-stop, then realistically he has to do a soft, medium, soft, medium.
49, 69. What's that? 20 laps to go? I think he's
That is, you're right. It is 20 laps to go. He can make it to the end on soft, so never mind.
So I guess he will do another lap.
Evidently, his soft tires have been able to last plenty long enough. Payme, actually, I've just noticed, is out of the pits on very fresh tires. Might be looking to unlap himself. Cloud cover is starting to come back overhead, so perhaps we want to take another quick peek at the radar?
I will.
Adaptive, Larson currently holding station at 16.5 back. Ryan slowly closing the gap to him, though. Now 17 back. I agree, the clouds are looking a bit hazy.
We could have a light drizzle in about 5 to 10 minutes.
Interesting, but will it be enough for these drivers to... No. Oh, well, I was going to raise the question. You know, could we see the Inters make an appearance again today? Evidently not. Doesn't look to be substantial enough rain to warrant these drivers to make an additional pit stop.
Yeah. Like, there's something showing, but I think it's gonna miss the track, or it's gonna be a few
Clip
times.
one of the corners.
Yeah.
So we will watch Ryan continue to slowly close the gap to Larson, who is now perfectly split, just about 16.8 seconds between the two AMS drivers. Gramenos still running P4, slowly falling back from Ryan, though. But with a 20-second gap back to Nico, who has recovered to P5, but with a 1 second time penalty. So Gramenos actually could pit on this lap and come out ahead of Nico.
Nico has a 1 second penalty.
Yeah,
so
he does. He does have that 1 second penalty. I think, with how much Nico has been saving his tires, especially on those earlier stints, he only just started dropping back down into the 12s, not even 10 laps ago.
Yeah, Sanchez is here battling Super for P6. Super is struggling on his tires. Missed a few apexes there, and Sanchez is now well.
Sanchez 4/10 up on that previous lap. Both of them actually still right on the tail of Nico here.
Yeah. Nico on the mediums.
Both of these drivers on the softs. So I was going to compliment Nico for a great recovery drive. He's still under fire from some of our midfield guys. And Super S2K is into the pits for what should be his final stop of the race. Sanchez up the inside at turn 3. will make the move happen. Can Supa get the crossover move? Drag race down into turn 4, maybe? He's going to look to the outside here. I don't think... No, he's going to slot in line. And continue on with his day behind Sanchez, but both of them still hounding Nico.
Super S2K went out behind.
He's behind Adaptive, or Larson. I'm going to keep doing that, aren't I? He's behind Larson. There's 17 laps to go-ish.
Yeah. Sanchez is now challenging Nico. Nico with, again, 1 second penalty.
Larson now with a slight... I mentioned before how... Larson had about equal tire wear to Nico. He's managed to save a little bit of tire compared to Nico now, or Nico's been pushing a little harder. Where he has a slight advantage. I can't quite count out the possibility of Larson attempting a one-stop here.
Ooh, and a spin by Nico. He spun out of turn 4. Those tires, like a little bit of dirty air behind Sanchez. Supa was on his tail on the softs. He
fortunately was able to catch the replay this time. We're going to watch it on the stream. Coming down into turn 4. Yeah, just got up on the curb and lost it. So easy to do. As I found out at the convention in Atlanta, when I was able to sneak on to do a couple of laps myself. Yeah, just
16 laps to go.
Rough day for Nico. Fortunately, didn't pick up any damage, which was very lucky. But now well behind Supa and Sanchez again. So P7. That I believe that if he ends up finishing there, that will be his worst finish on the season. So definitely one for the drop round. Sanchez continuing to run away from Supa. Gramenos out on his own for the moment. No, he's going to come into the pits. This could be close between him and Sanchez on exit.
It will be very close, but Gramenos will have the advantage. Sanchez needs to pits again, so does Supa, because these tires are dead as well. Maybe they do it even this lap.
Super S2K also closing in on Larson for the time being. 1.5 back. That battle for the lead. Now 1.3.
Sanchez picked 1 second penalty.
Yeah, Sanchez with the penalty. Here comes Gramenos out of the pits. This will be close on exit. Sanchez, I believe, did get it, but that 1 second time penalty might cost him.
Yeah, Gramenos will catch him with these new tires, and then just use it. Use the time that Sanchez needs to serve the penalty to get that P4 back.
Absolutely. Just needs to close the gap and get close, and be within striking range once that penalty happens, and he pretty much already is at this point in time. So we will jump ahead to our battle for the lead here. Only under a second now. Super S2K closing in on his fresh set of tires.
It will be very hard for the leading car to defend, especially as the wind is blowing directly into him, so the toe is quite big here. Definitely
a crosswind through this turn 4 here. That also probably the reason why Nico had such a hard time was that crosswind. But it also means that overtaking opportunity into turn 3 perhaps made it a little easier, because you can brake that much later. You know, you're already going up a hill. It's a very short brake, or still a very heavy braking zone, but made shorter by the uphill, and probably even shorter now with that direct headwind. 5/10 the gap. Where does Super S2K look to make the move? He's got probably twice twice as much overtake, more than that now, than Larson at this stage of the race. So we are within 15 to go. What does Larson do pit strategy wise? Because if he pit now, he'd come out 8 seconds behind Ryan. But
I think he should go for it. Because, I mean, he should go for a one-stopper. He has...
just a moment, side by side, into turn 6. Super S2K sends it round the outside. What a move! We've seen a couple of these drivers pull off that overtake, but my goodness, I know tire wear played a factor, but that was a send and a half round the outside of turn 6. What a move by Super S2K. I apologize for cutting you off. Please continue.
Yeah, this was a great move. I'm as well checking it in the replay. I was just thinking that Larson needs to go for it for the one stopper because he is 42 seconds clear of P4 Graminos. So whatever he does, it's okay. Like the worst he can do is finish third, even if he pits, and as well if he doesn't pit, he can finish third as well. So maybe without going to pits, he can finish P2. So let's see. 13 laps to go.
Other thing to notice as well, he is just about completely out of overtake to use left in the battery, or whatever the overtake method is.
Yeah.
Trying to stay on the toe, but those highly worn out mediums are not going to last too much longer, I would imagine, if he keeps trying to thrash them. Actually gained quite a bit of time through turn 7 and 8, though. Gotta be careful with track limits, though. Was a bit wide through turn 9.
Bit wide again.
Think he kept it clean, though. Uses his last bit of overtake. Try to stay close. Slipstream keeping him in range for now, but I think he's just delaying the inevitable at this point.
So this is good what he's doing because of the slipstream and the wind. He's managing to stay within the toe, and Chang is only 10 seconds behind, 11. So
10 seconds behind, but all he needs is a second to lap, and he will get up to.
But these soft tires are deteriorating a lot faster than the mediums of
true.
Larson. So Larson is doing 113.2 in the last couple of laps. Chang is doing 112.3, but for how much longer? We'll see.
Well, we know those soft tires will make it to the end, based off of. Oh wait, no, he only did the one stop, right? Ryan's only pit once?
Rance has only pitted once, yeah.
Okay, so then we don't know for certain that the softs will make it to the end. The mediums are more worn out, but will wear at a slower rate. I am shocked at how well he's been able to stay in the slipstream of Super S2K here.
No. Super S2K is playing a game, so he's managing his pace. He's doing 113s, well, he's capable of doing well under 111.1.
Are you insinuating something here?
Yes, I am.
Are you perhaps insinuating that maybe there might be a little bit of a team game being played here, where he's holding up the second place driver for his teammate to go and catch?
Well, now what Larson needs to manage is dirty air, and he will cook his tires behind Super S2K. Unless Super S2K is way out of fuel, but he's not. I'm looking at his fuel. He has plenty of fuel left, and he's on the soft. So.
Super S2K has the best fuel has the best amount of fuel left of the top three.
Yeah.
Both Larson and Ryan have basically the same amount of fuel left. And I said, he needs about a second to lap. As long as he can make those tires last, Super S2K is doing a good enough job. It is over a second to lap at the moment. 9 laps to go. The gap is 8.2.
Yeah, Super S2K is being a perfect Checo Perez at this point. So
this could get very spicy indeed in the on the final couple of laps here, because of course Larson has no overtake left. He stated
he's a sitting
he
duck.
burned it to try to stay in the slipstream, only for Super S2K to start backing off and keep him in the slipstream.
Yeah, but this race is with all of this help that Ryan is now getting.
I'm sorry, we have a battle for 5th. Supa's making a move on Nico. Up the inside at turn 3. He's going to run in a bit wide. Contact is made. A little bit of a squirm over the curb. Not the cleanest overtake, but they're going to drag race it down into turn 4. I apologize for the cutoff.
No worries. It's interesting, yeah. Still side by side.
Just enough room left between the two drivers. Can Nico hold on to it round the outside this time? No, these tires just aren't there. And he's going to fall into the clutches of Sanchez here as well, who has also just come out of the pits. Sanchez is in a great spot for a top 5 here. He's got a lot more overtake than Supa and completely fresh rubber because he just came out of the pits. So battles up and down the field here. So if you can see on the minimap, the 2 cars who just rounded the final corner, those are your leaders. And then the next car behind, that is Ryan. So keep an eye on that, folks at home. But it's this battle for 5th here that is brewing. Sanchez versus Supa. This will happen first, one would imagine.
Yeah.
Sanchez with a good run. Going to close to about 7/10. I believe Supa actually used a little bit of overtake to try to hold the gap from slipstream. Sanchez able to knock out a 10th and a half through turn 4. Philo into the pits. Half a second now through the middle of the lap. Payme actually set the fastest lap of the race, a 1:10.1, I've just noticed. But I think Sanchez might be getting ready to steal that away in a few moments' time if he is given the chance, especially with all this slipstream. Crosses the line in 11.2 for personal best lap for him.
Big slide by Sanchez, but 3/10 behind, and he will definitely attack into turn 4.
Just going to take a brief moment. We're going to stay on board with this. 2/10. Does Sanchez look to the inside? No, he's going to stay in line. Think about the crossover on exit, or set himself up for the run down to turn 4. Sanchez and Supa battling it out for the final spot in the top 5. Supa goes mega defensive to the inside. He's going to hold the apex, parks the bus, holds onto it for now. Where does Sanchez look to make the move? I think he wanted to try around the outside there at turn 6, just no room for it. Don't worry, folks, we are still keeping an eye on that brewing battle for second. I say second despite the fact the leader is still there. The leader is the one currently doing the holding up for his teammate running third. So while this is at a half-second interval, we will take a quick look at this brewing battle. 6 laps to go, I believe, and the gap is 5.7. That is Payme directly behind with a 1-second penalty. Ryan does not have the penalty. So that's good for him. but he's not closing in at a second a lap anymore. Super S2K is going to need to do a little more defensive driving if he wants his teammate to get around him.
Yeah, he had the half a second penalty this lap, right? So he needed to serve that.
Ah, so that'll be why. Back up at the battle for 5th. Supa actually grew his lead a little bit, back up to 7/10. I think Sanchez either made a couple mistakes or might be trying to cool the tires off a little bit to make another attack. Supa a little wide over the sausage curve. Sanchez closing in within half a second now. I don't think he's going to quite have the run to make anything happen on this occasion, so we will take a look back to our battle for second. Still 5 seconds the gap. 13 dead for Larson that time to a 12-4 for Ryan. I don't know if he picked up another penalty or if that's just his tires really starting to go off now. Super S2K really needs to back him up for his teammate, but obviously doesn't want to give up the win.
4.5 laps to go. I'm not sure that Ryan has enough to save these tires and to bring them all the way home. And if these tires are dead, he will be maybe even under pressure.
Super had a poor exit out of turn 1. Sanchez now side by side with him, coming down up to turn 3. Where does Sanchez look to make the move? Does he think about the crossover? No, they're just going to be side by side through the corner. Sanchez will get him on exit. What can Philo do? Oh, Philo's a lap down. Never mind. Philo will stay in line behind as the blue flagged car. Great sportsmanship from him to not interfere. And that should be the end of that battle. So we will look back to our leaders. Ryan burning the overtake now, trying to get up to him. Under 4 seconds the gap. Oh, it's going to be very close though. I don't think he has enough tire left to do it. It was a very interesting strategy play by these two to go run the one stop. I just don't think Ryan ran quite enough laps on the medium to make it work. But of course, he was just losing buckets of time at that point.
This is a chance for Ryan because Larson messed up the exit in turn 1.
He's still on pace. Despite everything that's been happening, he is still on track to be able to catch him on the final lap. Super S2K playing the ultimate teammate game here to try to get Ryan the extra spot. A game that they know they can play with such a large gap back to P4, nearly a pit stop gap from Ryan back to Gramenos. I think Gramenos is actually closing in.
Gramenos is closing in, yeah.
Going to be 2 laps to go this time by. The gap between them going to be just over, if not 2 seconds. All right. Duly noted, Ivan. We will make note of it in a few seconds, or potentially after the race. Gap under 2 seconds now. Ryan continuing to close in. It's 2 to go now, but Super S2K really needs to park the bus through this middle section of the lap here if he wants to give his teammate a chance. The question then becomes, where does Ryan make the move? Because, you know, it's that old racing adage once again, catching's one thing, passing is another. As we come around to start the final lap of the race, gap now 2 seconds, and Ryan has picked up a half-second time penalty as well for his trouble. I think that's going to do it for him. Unless something happens here to Larson on this final lap. Not a great exit out of turn 1.
His tires are completely dead. And he has a penalty, so I don't see how it would be possible that he overtakes Larson at this point. It should be a miracle, literally.
.7 the gap, or realistically 2.2 after that penalty. All Larson realistically needs to do now is just keep it on the gray stuff. Super S2K, I think, is now starting to push a little more, that he knows that his teammate's not going to be able to catch. It was an interesting team strategy to try to get him the spot, but it will be the birthday boy, Super S2K, crosses the line to win once again here in the Scorpio Superformula Series at the Red Bull Ring. Larson in his debut start will finish P2, an excellent result for him. Ryan will come home in a hard-fought P3. Gramenos, P4, fantastic result for him, and long overdue for the Greek driver. Sanchez will make his way through the final couple of corners to hold on to that top 5 spot. Supa, our other birthday boy, 2 drivers actually born on the same day, on the same year apparently. Supa will come home P6. Philo crosses the line a lap down in P8. Supa crosses the line now. Nico, it'll be one to forget for you. It'll be one for the drop rounds for the Chilean driver. Nico will cross the line in 7th. Peme rounds out our finishers in 9th. And that will do it for our on-track action. Once again, victory for the Super S2K, and a fantastic result at that. So we will try to get our podium finishers into the party in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere, folks. We will have post-race interviews coming momentarily. I'm just gonna... just in case, because I don't know if I have them added.
I'll be leaving you guys, so thanks for the great race.
What's up, boys?
How's it going? Just looking to
shabby.
see if we can get you in for post-race interviews.
I saved the replay like 50 times. I wanna save that race. I
How do I?
Get fun for you, sorta.
I'll discuss it in interviews.
Okay.
Can we try to get Larson in here for post-race interviews, or I don't know if
have him added.
I don't know if either of you have him added, but if you can drop him an invite, that would be appreciated.
Don't think I do.
DK, could you add him?
Give me a second.
I could give you his username. It's adaptive_inc_.
No, I can just go look at my recently played.
He drove insanely good. This Inc.
Yeah, he drove good.
He drove really good. Oh, can we leave the lobby? Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
DK, did you save the replay? Because I want to make sure I have it.
I didn't.
Okay, I saved
Adaptive
it.
link.
I'm hoping it still saves.
Sent him.
And my oil went down. Heck yeah. No diddy. Aaron, again, thank you for the commentary.
Yeah, great job on commentary.
Happy
When
to
I
do
watch
so,
back,
as
I always
always. Once again, to the folks watching back home, post-race interviews coming in just a few moments. We're just trying to get our last podium finisher in to the party.
I think I could text him on Discord if he added me back.
He said 1 minute.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So then...
According to Discord, at least.
Okay. Well then... If that's the case... I'll probably just start... with you guys instead, and then once he joins, we'll... cut it in. Otherwise...
I think we can wait a minute. If it's past a minute, then...
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm all over the place right now with everything that's I've got going on. So
Yeah, no problem.
No, you're good. You sound tired too, so I don't blame you.
yeah, I won't say who, but well, I may or may not have done a stupid and not slept last night.
Oh my lord.
I may have done the stupid.
I had no reason not to sleep, and I just didn't sleep. So hopefully the energy was still there for the broadcast for everyone watching, but we'll see. And it by the sounds of things, Felix didn't get much sleep either. So
I'm just looking at my OBS preview because I unplugged my USB hub that has my mic connected to it, which also has my camera connected to it. I just see myself in a still frame on my OBS preview right now. Like I'm making the dumbest face ever. Hang on, let me screenshot and send this to S2K.
Okay, and if you wanted to start it, I don't know.
S2K, look at Discord.
I bet. Why did I open that app?
It's like meme worthy.
No, me when I get a podium, I just like.
I don't know if he's joining right now. I think we may have to start it. There's like no activity going on in Discord at the moment.
Yeah. For me,
all right. So we will get post-race interviews going now. So for the review video, in case whoever's editing that Give a quick countdown as always. 3.
Oh, wait a second.
Hello.
Is there a way? Sorry to interrupt, but is there a? Do you need it for your stream? Like you can get it from the Scorpio eSports one?
I should be able to because we're in PlayStation Party. So.
Okay, good. Because I know
Everything's coming
before
through.
I used to do it, and my stream's already ended. So.
Yep. All good.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure.
The reason why we grabbed it from your end was because we did those interviews through Discord, and for whatever reason, PlayStation Stream does not pick up Discord audio.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yep. Should be all good now. So, interviews starting in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, folks. Post-race interviews here after round 8 of the Scorpio Superformula Championship here at the Red Bull Ring. We are going to start off with Ryan, our P3 finisher. An interesting race for you today. Decided on the one stop. A little bit a bit of an alternative strategy compared to what the rest of the field ran. Is it looking back on it? Do you think it's the strategy you would have run again, or do you think you would have preferred taking the two stop?
The two stop was definitely the intended strategy, is what I say. But I ended up leaning more and more towards the one stop as SUK was starting to pull on me, and the main reason was that Nico and I think it was Larson. I don't remember. Yeah, I think it was Larson. Started on the soft tire, and I saw how far they got it to go on a full tank of fuel. So I was like, maybe the two stop is possible. Because it's something we never tested, really, because like we assumed the tires were just going to die too fast. But it seems like everything worked really well with the one stop, and yeah, I don't think I'd really change it. If one thing I'd change is be a bit softer on my mediums at the beginning, just so I could do like 1 or 2 more laps at the end of the medium stint, so I had a bit more tire to maybe catch Larson at the end.
Now, speaking of catching Larson at the end. I won't pass along any accusations, but there was certainly an amount of holding up going on from your teammate Super S2K in the tail end of that event. Was that just a matter of team orders, or was that just something or was that just something that kind of happened?
It was more something that kind of happened because I'm pretty sure by time he came out for his last stop, he was short on fuel, so he had to fuel save quite aggressively just to get to the end, so that's probably why that happened.
Very interesting. All right, well, we appreciate the interview. Thank you. Congratulations once again on P3, and look forward to seeing you next time out at Brands Hatch. Our P2 finisher is currently not in our VC at the moment, so we're going to jump over to our race winner, Super S2K, the birthday boy. Congratulations on the win, and happy birthday, of course. Tell us about it from your perspective. It looked like it was just another dominant performance once again.
Yeah, first off, I appreciate you saying happy birthday to me. I didn't know the word spread that much. But anyways, again, I appreciate it. And yeah, I mean, the whole race, to be honest, pretty much flawless. I didn't get a penalty. Turn 1, I survived, thank God. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I knew the strategy. I tried fuel saving and fuel saving my tires, just making sure I don't make a stupid mistake, don't get a penalty. Things along that nature, and then luckily, my two-stop worked out. The tire differences between me and my teammate, and then me and Larson were pretty good as well. Again, just a very well-executed race. Not much I would change from that, maybe other than just saving a lot more fuel in the beginning of the race. But yeah.
All right. Well, it certainly looked like, speaking of, you were definitely playing a bit of defensive over Larson toward the end of the race. I know, obviously, you were talking about saving a lot of fuel. It actually looked like you had the best fuel out of everyone in the top 3 for that final stint. Was it just something that you were being a little extra precautious about, or just, or were you genuinely that close on making it to the end on fuel?
I'd say it was more precautionary, for sure. You know, sometimes when I was doing my practice runs, the fuel on the soft tire would just go adios. And at a certain point in my stint, and also I switched the transmission between this race and practice. So with my old transmission, around that point and my fuel amount, it would actually be pretty risky. So again, I was just being extra careful on there, and going slower was helping out my teammate too. So it was a very good, beneficial thing that happened. Unfortunately, he couldn't get the P2, but again, good points we took out of today, and moving on to Brands Hatch next.
All right. Well, congratulations on the result. Once again, happy birthday. Great result for you.
Thank you.
Should be an exciting one out at Brands Hatch. We're going to try to get P2 into the VC so that way we can get his interview as well. So folks, don't go anywhere just yet, and we will be right back. All right. If one of you two are able to invite him, just in case, party should be set to open right now anyway, but...
He waved back on me on Discord, but he's just not doing anything. So... no clue. How'd you find out it was my birthday, though?
Ivan was posting it around.
Oh, seriously?
I believe he posted it a couple times in the Superformula chat about you and Supa, or someone brought it up.
I gotta see this. Hold on.
I believe the chat was Supa mentioned he was looking to run a special birthday livery, mentioned the date. Ivan then pointed out it was the same as yours, and then asked me to... Yeah. Same. I said on the broadcast, apparently you both share the same birthday and the same birth year. So.
Oh, damn.
That's kind of funny.
Wait, he's my twin. the username is fairly similar, too.
All right, so...
I'm just trying to find where this thing was.
Oh, what's the thing here? You should...
I'm trying to see, I'm surprised Ivan or James didn't get in here, to be honest. Larson's typing in the Discord, and he's just not...
I think that's my PSN. Yeah. Trying to get this dude in, unfortunately, I just...
Oh, I do see it. So you and SK were literally born on the same day. He turns 18 as well.
What chat was this in? SF chat?
Yeah.
It should be in the main Superformula chat.
Let me go back up a little. Oh, yeah, I see it.
Well, gentlemen, I'm not going to keep you around. Hopefully, we'll be able to... that should be him there. I don't know why it's not popping up on... Alright.
I don't remember when I passed UDK. I need to find when I did, because that was a nice pass. Oh, it had to have been this lap.
What lap was that? I don't remember.
37, I believe.
Oh yeah, no, that's when I remember that one. That's when I went deep,
This,
and then I was
right.
in the wrong
What's it
gear.
called?
There we
you exited the wrong
go.
gear.
Okay. Hopefully that
You
works.
were also on the overtake. Oh, you used a lot more overtake than I did.
Yeah, I used it more around like during the race. So.
Yeah, I didn't use mine enough. I thought I passed
Did you end with overtake?
Yeah. The past couple of races,
Oh,
I've
something
been
tells me Larson's not familiar with the PlayStation Network. If he has a party open, we can just. Oh wait, I won't see it. I'm not his friend.
I just sent him an invite to this one, so.
Who did I pass on the outside? Yeah, I wasn't watching.
Okay, dude, please just join mine. I don't need to be moving around right now. I have one called the booth.
The booth.
Oh my gosh.
Adaptive Ink as well. He was very. When I was about to pass him in turn 3, he got really laggy, and I was worried that I hit him.
Actually, no, I want to save this replay. I want to see what the hell Gramanos did with that massive dive to me.
I don't even think you need to report him.
Alright, Blade, lobby's closing, so.
Alright, all good.
I just want to take a look, just see.
Like chase cam. I remember like someone said, "Oh, like let me know when you pass," and then like 1 second later, I'm like, "I passed."
Yeah. Like, oh, let me know when you get by. I'm no rush. I'm past them already.
Okay.
God, I've done 390
This dude is
miles
insisting
today.
I go and join his party, apparently.
I
so.
just joined his then at that point.
All right, gentlemen, I thank you for the interviews. We will see you next time out.
Yeah,
Folks, don't
thank
go
you for
anywhere just
commentating.
yet. We're going to hopefully get interviews here. Okay. Hello, can you hear me? Okay. We are currently in the process of post-race interviews here, so since you finished on the podium, we're just trying to get a couple questions out of you. All right. So for the recap... Oh, what's that? Okay. All good. Hopefully, for next time out, we'll be able to help you out with that. We can't hear you. Just double check your privacy settings and make sure that it's... Yeah, just make sure that your audio can be heard by the broadcast. So you're going to want to go to settings, like your main settings, then over to privacy, and then over to voice share. You're looking for a setting called the voice share. Yeah, Ivan, unlike Fox Sports, and this is a bit of a NASCAR analogy, but unlike Fox Sports, we're actually willing to do a longer post-race coverage. let me see if I can help you out here. So it's settings. Where's... Oh, hang on. Where's privacy? Well, surprisingly, I don't know where it is. Okay. So privacy, and then... shouldn't... I don't think it's voice data collection. So... actually, it might be under View and Customize Your Privacy Settings, so try the first one. Settings, confidentiality, voice settings. Good question. Oh. We're just going to do it here, so... Yeah, Ivan, I'm not seeing confidentiality. So I don't know if it's called something else, or... Are you guys on stream able to hear him at all, or no? Still can't. Okay, I don't... No, it's not that. All good. Just trying to... Oh, Ivan, are you reading this through the app? Or are you reading it... I'm sorry, I'm talking to Ivan, who's talking to me through stream chat. So are you going through the PlayStation app, Ivan, or are you trying to read through like the actual like PlayStation itself? I still have no idea where the heck I'm looking. Okay. Uh, Larson, do you have the PlayStation app on your phone? Okay. Okay, so we're going to try to fix this through there then. Okay, so settings. Okay, so this is much simpler. Okay, so you're just going on to settings. Yes, click that. Okay, just keep talking and hopefully someone on stream will say they can hear you. Can we hear him now? No, still can't hear it. Oh my goodness. Um, how do I check broadcast settings? I'm curious if it might have stopped sharing party audio because I switched parties. Unfortunately, I can't change the settings because the broadcast is still going. Worth a shot, I guess. Okay. Folks on the broadcast, now that he's rejoined, let me know if you can hear him at all. Still no. I don't know what we're missing then. Yes, so that's why I was trying to invite you, because I knew I had party audio shared, so... Alright. We're just going to call it there. Apologies, folks. Just settings, unfortunately, breaking down again, PlayStation being PlayStation. But be sure to tune in a couple of weeks, July 12th. Same time as usual. We will be broadcasting Round 9, the midway point of the season. Brands Hatch should be a fun one. Hope to see you all there. I have been TNR Blade. Felix has left a while ago, but thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will hope to see you later. Goodbye.